Knock this in, 31 pickup right here. Smart! Don't think about our offense. Guard for me, all right? Here we go, 1, 2, 3, down.
Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Brey is presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Gatorade, Under Armour, Coke Zero, and Sprint. Inside Notre Dame Basketball is also sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, Bank of America, CBTS, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.
11 league wins. Keep the pressure on those dudes up above us, right? Keep handling our business and keep the pressure on those guys ahead of us. There is a lot of drama left in this regular season race. Great job.
Notre Dame head coach Mike Brey after his team stayed securely in second place in the ACC with an 88-75 victory over Wake Forest. Welcome, Irish fans, to this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Brey. I'm Jack Nolan, joined as always by the head coach of the Fighting Irish. And as we head into the final 4 regular season games, your team is in great shape.
We're in a great position, Jack, and I was really proud of our group. We had a week off. We come back. We take care of business against Wake Forest. Pat Connaughton not completely healthy, but I thought we were great offensively, and man, were we great from the foul line.
Well, and 5 guys in double figures. It's one of the reasons you're so hard to beat. No one can key on just one guy.
There's a lot of moving parts with us. We can do it a lot of different ways, and to the credit of our guys, they don't mind if it's somebody else's night.
The Irish put a school ACC game record 88 points on the scoreboard against the Demon Deacons, thanks in part to an outstanding 27 of 28 performance at the free throw line, a stat that was not lost on Mike Brey as he entered the post-game locker room.
Hell of a team win, baby. 27 for 28 from the foul line. Hey. How about that? Our free throw work has really paid off. What a big-time weapon that is.
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
The Super Bowl. It's one game for all the glory. And Xfinity from Comcast is giving you a seat at every one ever played. Xfinity brings you 30-minute recaps of every Super Bowl on demand. Plus, over 100 hours of coverage the week of Super Bowl 49 on NFL Network. Get the best seat to every Super Bowl when you upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play with NFL Network. Call today for a great low price. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY or go online today.
Sweat. It says I was here. I worked here. It says I only have so much to give before I have to take. What I lose, I want to get back. Sweat says I earned this. Gatorade, created to help replace what you sweat out.
I know you were concerned going into the Wake Forest game, and you had reason to be. You hadn't had a game in 6 days. Plus, Wake Forest came in playing their best basketball of the year.
Well, you're worried because you haven't competed in 6 days. You're going to have your edge about you, which this team has had all year. And Wake Forest beats NC State, beats Miami, and has a chance to beat Virginia at Virginia. So very concerned. And I thought our energy level early in the game wasn't necessarily where it needed to be, but we got going as the half went. One thing I liked is Zach August, I thought, bounced back from a tough night down at Clemson. He got in some foul trouble, but he got started going to the basket hard. VJ Beacham is another guy who maybe not has played as well the last, 2 games. I thought he really bounced back. Bonzie Colson off the bench with a block shot. We're off in transition right here. How about Bonzie running the floor to clean this up at the end after Demetrius misses a little runner right there. Early offense here. Jaron Grant is just taking what the defense gives him. He is playing as good or better than anybody in the country right now. Transition for them. Here's Zach at the foul line. Zach August, 7 for 8 from the foul line, Jack, and 27 for 28 we go from the foul line. We spent more time getting free throw reps, and I thought it really paid off. Austin Torres off the bench, another energy guy, especially at home. Nice probe by Demetrius. Jaron Grant, I'll just take what the defense gives me right there and knock it down. Thomas is one talented low post player. He has had our number really every time we've played him. Transition here, I'm very impressed with him, a junior, a big guy. We're going to have to deal with him next year as well. Nice probe by Jaron, finds his classmate Pat Connaughton for a knockdown shot right there. Nice rebound by Pat. We get the outlet. Jaron does a heck of a job getting by. And how about this extra pass? Running in transition. Steve Astoria steps up, makes a big one, and Steve was really key for us. To end the half, Jaron on a drive right there to end the half, but it's a high-scoring affair. We start the second half on a tear. Zach with a tip in. Our defense was good to start the second half, but some of the decisions we make right here offensively are beautiful to watch. This is a beautiful basketball team to watch when they're flowing offensively. Great hands by Demetrius. We get going in transition. Again, a real good start to the second half. Extra pass again. Steve Astoria with a big jump shot. Steve Astoria did a good job on Miller McIntyre. That is a difficult shot right there. A running, one-handed semi-hook off of a roll. Bonzi continues to give us great stuff. This is an adventure right here, but we get it back. How about this pass by Steve? Throw ahead, and Jaron Grant finishes, and we are off to the races the first 6 or 7 minutes of the second half. B.J. Beacham, bounce-back game for him. Love that he drives it. He's more than just a shooter. He can put that ball on the floor and make plays off of that. Transition again. Look at us running and spreading the floor. Torres running and finishing. What a pass by Jaron Grant, a left-handed across his body pass. Another nice find by Jaron to his buddy Pat Connaughton. Pat, even though under the weather, gave us 30 minutes and really played well. I love this strong move by Torres. Tough luck, we miss it, but how about this guy? How many outlets has he stolen this year? Then we kick it across, and Steve makes a big one right there, and we are feeling really good about ourselves. Jaron on another nice read. B.J. Beacham, his whole body language was different, Jack. He was just more confident, and my gosh, we needed it. How about that play? To his buddy again for a big three, and we're rolling offensively. Like how we clear aside for Pat, driving area, gathers off of 2 feet, strong move to the bucket. Great win for us after a week off to get to 11 league wins.
The 27 of 28 free throw performance by Notre Dame jumps off the final stats board. Also of note, Notre Dame's ACC game record 12 steals that led to 21 Irish points off of turnovers, and the fact that 5 Irish players scored in double figures. And again, you didn't shoot as well as you normally do, but you still put 88 points on the board. You're a very difficult team to stop.
We are. We didn't shoot it that well from the floor, but, you know, we've spent more time on free throws before the Clemson game. And between the Clemson and Wake game, we are 37 for 41 from the foul line. That has to be a better weapon for us. We need to practice more.
Well, and that's certainly going to be a great weapon when postseason gets here. Now, when we come back, we'll hear what the Irish players had to say about the win over Wake Forest and the performance of one of their very tough teammates.
Bring in your Verizon or AT&T bill and we'll cut your rate plan in half. Switch now and we'll even buy out your current contract. Visit us online or at a Sprint store today.
This is Jessica. Jessica is driving to the mall. so she's not thinking about tires right now. If she were, she or her parents could go to TireRack.com to find the right tires for her car and get them delivered to an independent recommended installer. But Jessica's not thinking about tires. She's thinking, OMG, if Colt doesn't ask me to the prom, my life is totally over. It's tragical. Tire Rack is a proud sponsor of Street Survival, a hands-on driving experience preparing teens for real roads in the real world.
The Fighting Irish had big goals this season, and they knew to keep those goals within reach, they had to return to action with a strong performance against Wake Forest after 6 days without a game.
It was important to come in here and play well. We haven't been on the court in a game for a week really, so we wanted to come out here and play with a lot of energy. We were excited to get another game under our belt, but it was important to get a win.
Once we finally got our legs under us and started playing our way and defending a lot better, I think that's what really opened the game up for us, especially in the second half.
We focus on it. It's extremely important. We're still chasing down ACC regular season titles, so you can't have any letdowns from here on out. We're going to play all out.
This week's Toughness Award has got to go to Pat Connaughton. Connaughton missed both practices last weekend with a stomach ailment that forced him to receive IV fluid treatment. He then returned to practice Monday only to have a relapse. He missed the Tuesday game day shoot-around and needed more IV fluids both before the game and at halftime. Despite all this, Connaughton still managed to play 30 minutes against Wake Forest, scoring 13 points while also grabbing 4 rebounds, blocking 2 shots, and dishing out 2 assists.
He's a real tough kid. I mean, he's captain. He's going to play through anything, and he showed that throughout a heck of a 4 years here.
It was bad. It was tough. He missed practice. Even missed shoot around. So guys had some doubt, but I knew he was going to be out there.
We know that we can rely on him no matter what. I mean, this time it was physical injury or physical sickness, but we can rely on him no matter what, and his voice and his leadership.
It reminds me of something Pat's dad told me earlier in the year. Only thing Pat cares about is winning, and he'll do whatever he needs to do to make it happen.
He was texting me all day during the game saying, Coach, I'm not going to make shoot around, but I'll be there tonight. Don't worry, I'll be there. You talked about the weekly toughness award. I think the daily toughness award goes to Pat Connaughton.
It certainly is terrific that he wears blue and gold. Now, when we come back, we will introduce the first part of a 2-part Watch ND series we call Coach Brey Goes Big. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Back in September, Coach Brey took a trip up to Chicagoland Speedway, whose president just happens to be former Irish basketball player Scott Paddock. Well, their coach got a chance to experience a little bit of what the drivers go through during a Sprint Cup Series race.
Hey, this is Coach Brey from Chicagoland Speedway. I am fired up to ride in the pace car. Go Irish.
I saw you at the driver's meeting. I want to come speak to you. I always admire your coaching.
Well, thank you.
Real.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Sitting on the bench in a game, man. It feels like game day. Feels like it's a 1 p.m. ESPN national TV game against Syracuse. I'm excited. Come here, man.
They know
he's representing them.
I know you guys are big
He's
time.
repping. He's repping.
I love it.
I'm rooting for Allmendinger because AJ Allmendinger, because I got a chance to spend some time with him.
Okay, you got to ride in the pace car to start the race. Not quite as fast as they go in the actual race, but what was that like?
The bank turns in the pace car got me a little bit, but the whole day was great to be around the drivers, to see. It's such a fan-friendly event. And Scott Paddock, one of our former guys, was so hospitable. It was really neat. I was in the drivers' meeting. I got to meet Danica Patrick and all of them. And so I'm a little bit more of a NASCAR fan after that experience.
But apparently, the pace car wasn't quite fast enough for you.
No, it wasn't. And I had to go for it a little bit later when I got up with the Blue Angels, and I know we're going to talk about that in the future.
In fact, folks, we invite you to join us in a couple of weeks for our next one-game show when Coach Brey goes big, and it doesn't get much bigger than the Blue Angels. Now, it should come as no surprise that this week's ATI Physical Therapy Play of the Week involves the man who led the Irish in scoring with 24 points against Wake Forest, Jaron Grant. Fittingly, the play also involves Austin Torres. When both Zach August and Bonzi Colson got into foul trouble, Torres gave the Irish a big lift off the bench against the Demon Deacons.
Passing comes into Hudson now. His three off the screen is no good. Rebound Grant. Grant racing down the floor. Grant over the midcourt stripe. Grant now to Austin Torres for the two-handed slam. Jaron Grant doing his best Magic Johnson impersonation and the foul on the play. 61-48, Irish by 13.
Before earning enough cash back from Bank of America to help pay for her kids' ice time. Before earning 1% cash back everywhere, every time. And 2% back at the grocery store. Even before she got 3% back on gas, all with no hoops to jump through. Katie used her Bank Americard Cash Rewards credit card to stay warm and toasty during the heat of competition. That's the comfort of rewarding connections. Apply online or at a Bank of America near you.
Gunderman Group.
Gunderman Group is growing.
Getting in a groove.
Growth is gratifying.
Goal is to grow.
Gotta get greater growth.
I just talked to UPS. They've got expert advice, special discounts, new technologies, like smart pickups. They'll only show up when you print a label, and it's automatic. We save time and money.
Time? Money?
Time and money.
Awesome.
Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. I love logistics.
It's time now for this week's Ask Coach Brey question presented by CBTS. This week's question comes from Kevin Doherty of Olmsted Township, Ohio. Kevin asked, Coach, with a top 10 ranking coming down the stretch of the regular season, how do you keep the guys from looking too far ahead and keep them focused on one game at a time?
That's a great question, and I think what takes care of it is we have a chance to chase down a share of the regular season championship with Virginia ahead of us, and so that's kept us in the here and now and individual games way before we get to Greensboro.
Irish fans, if you would like to ask Coach Brey a question, all you have to do is log on to UND.com and click on Ask Coach Brey in the rotating boxes in the middle of the main page or the box on the men's basketball main page. VJ Beecham is making a habit of coming off the bench this season and almost immediately making a big shot, usually a three. Against Wake Forest, with the Irish struggling on offense with just 5 points in the first 6 minutes of the game, Beecham came off the bench to hit a big three during his first minute on the floor to tie the game at 8 and trigger a 7-0 run that helped the Irish get their offense in gear. Beecham finished the contest with 10 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and an assist in 19 minutes, a typically productive performance for him. With this solid foundation of productivity already in place for the sophomore from Fort Wayne, you know VJ will take no time to start scoring points when we give him the call to take his turn sitting in the Inside Notre Dame Basketball Fast Break Hot Seats. First car you ever drove?
A Cadillac.
Who was your role model?
My parents.
Best thing about Fort Wayne?
I think everybody's just relaxed. It's just a good city.
Favorite NBA team?
The Lakers.
Favorite NBA player?
Kevin Durant.
Favorite part of practice?
Scrimmaging.
Worst part of practice?
Free throws at the end.
Part of your game you need to work on?
Defense.
Which is better, knocking down a long three, throwing down a spectacular dunk, or dishing out a great assist?
Any of them that help the team.
Favorite spot on the Notre Dame campus?
The dining hall. I like to eat.
One thing you always hear from Coach Brey in practice?
You can't get sliced like that.
Assistant coach who is most like Coach Brey?
Rod Balanis.
Best defender on the team?
Steve.
Best leaper on the team?
Austin Torres.
Best dunker on the team?
I think myself.
Best dresser on the team?
Pat.
Worst dresser on the team?
Matt Gregory.
Free throw contest, who wins, you or Coach Brey?
Got a lot of confidence in myself.
And he's got a lot of confidence on and off the court now. He's very, very self-aware and self-confident when you speak to him now.
You know, it's amazing to watch his growth from last year to this year, and what a key part of our team he is. He had struggled a little bit up to the Wake game, but I thought the Wake game jump-started again. He is so important to us. He's getting better every day, and you love the fact that you have 2 more years with him after this.
We will take a look at the next 2 conference games on the schedule for the Irish this coming week, right after this final timeout.
Couple of quizzes. Dinner? I don't know. Oh, love that. Send me the recipe. You too, Mom.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, what are you doing?
We're just sitting down for dinner.
Perfect. Mind if I join you?
You did it.
Whenever you're close to Meyer, you're a little closer to home.
A financial institution is behind many of the milestones in your life. Pick one that sees you as more than just an account number. Own your dreams. Join a credit union today.
Next up for the Irish, a trip to Boston to take on the Eagles. BC only has 1 conference win, but they too are playing better and better, and they have the top scorer in the league.
Well, you know, BC Notre Dame is always a big matchup, no matter what the sport is. Hanlon is scoring the ball. He leads the league in scoring. He's come off a bunch of 30-point games. We have to be very aware. He scored 22 in the second half against us here. So we are looking at this as a tough game, and we'll be thrilled if we could get to 12 league wins.
Coach is always concerned about distractions. Well, you have 3 guys from the Boston area. People know about Pat Connaughton. Of course, Zach's from Marlborough, Massachusetts. They say, well, Bonzi's from Rhode Island. Well, yeah, but his dad was an assistant coach for Al Skinner at BC from the time I think Bonzi was 5 until he was 14.
Well, I hope we can do what we did last year. Pat and Zach were great up there. That was our only road win last year going home. Bonzi's going to bring a lot of people. I think Pat Connaughton's mom got all the extra tickets in Chestnut Hill. So we're going to have a great contingent to cheer us on. I think that's going to help not only our Boston guys, but our team.
Now, as we take this show, that's your focus, BC. But another big game coming up. Only 2 home games left for this group. And it's a Syracuse team that people have now forgotten about because they've pulled themselves out of postseason play. A lot of people said, they did that because they wouldn't be in postseason anyway. The way they're playing right now, they just beat Louisville. They'd be an NCAA tournament team.
Well, I firmly believe at the end of the day, they're going to have double-digit league wins in the ACC, and they would have been an NCAA tournament team. They have nothing to lose. They are playing their hearts out because it all ends for them in about 2 weeks. So another great challenge. Last time they were here, we had a great win over them when they were #1. We need our fans ready to roll on Tuesday night.
Coach, thank you, and good luck as this team continues to be on a roll. That will do it for this week's edition of Inside Notre Dame Basketball. We invite you to tune in again next week when we'll have all the highlights of the Boston College and Syracuse games. Until then, for Coach Brey, I'm Jack Nolan. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Irish.
Inside Notre Dame Basketball with Mike Brey has been presented by TireRack.com and brought to you by Team Notre Dame members Gatorade, Under Armour, Coke Zero, and Sprint. Inside Notre Dame Basketball is also sponsored by ATI Physical Therapy, Bank of America, CBTS, Xfinity, Meyer, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and UPS.